odd statement to make, right? Not everybody knows where they come from. No, we all generally, theoretically, we all come from families. We're not grown in pods, theoretically. We have families, and families tell stories around the fireplace, and right? Does your family tell stories around the fireplace? No fireplace? No fireplace? Damn. Man, fireplace is a sign of some privilege. Damn. We have generational stories that get passed down to us. So we are imbued with the sense of who we are by what our families share, by what moves through us. You know, for some of us, I have an indigenous background. I'm Native American, Black, Scottish, Cajun. I'm all over the place. I don't know, my family, they were very loving. They got around. So I understand my Native roots. I understand my African American roots. I understand my Indian roots. I understand my Cajun roots. I understand. So this gives me a sense of self. It gives me a sense of pride. It gives me a sense of belonging. And so I may come from a diverse group of people, but a privilege is in that knowledge of where I belong. Knowing who I am. I am. You know, there's that saying that, you know, as you walk with the hands of 1,000 ancestors behind you, or hands and feet and limbs and voices. Some of us really do travel with the voices of our ancestors. And then, can you imagine one day, that is all ripped away. Who the hell are you now? Where do you belong? How do you identify yourself? Where are your roots? Where do you find your feet? There truly is a sense of security of knowing where you've come from, what your people have come from. And then all of a sudden, that changes on a dime. Who the hell are you? What are you? Where do you belong? My next artist, with words, understandings, stories, and passion. She'll tell you all about it. Cassandra Adams, come on in.
I always thought I looked really weird and ugly from the side. My face was kind of like rounded, protruding, or I don't think I ever really understood why I looked this way at all. The misunderstanding led to dislike led to hatred. We hate what we do not understand. So missing pieces of the self lead to misunderstanding of the self. They lead to hatred of the self. Our bodies, our physical being, our features, they need a home. I tried to find a home to fit into a box I was given. But I didn't know it wasn't the right box. I wasn't privileged enough to have the right box. And I wasn't privileged enough to know I wasn't privileged. That my face would never fit into that box. Because the truth was, I didn't know where my face came from. There are whole lives spent not knowing why we look the way we look. Detached from our bodies, detached from our identities, detached from our souls. Integrating two people, one determined and one hopeless, one empowered and one weak, one honest and one false. A soul between these two homes, a heart with no place to rest. But I found myself, despite that pain, amidst those worlds. Found my own face, my own profile, and my own weird, protruding side to life. It is overwhelming. It is a complicated, shocking puzzle piece in this crazy life. It was like looking in a funhouse mirror and finally seeing myself for the first time. there's continuity. My face is just a continuation of him. It was like love at first sight, except I didn't even need to see him. It was a feeling we both shared. I broke down sobbing, tears. I had seen him in my mind all along. I had carried him with me. I found everything I ever needed to piece together the rest of my identity. And then my soul saw you and said, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. I never looked like my family. I want to see where I come from. I want to look at someone familiar. So I want to thank Hallie, Ashley, Amber, Bethany, Marie, Courtney, Amy, Katie, Loretta, Jonathan, and Joella for helping and sharing with me their meaningful searches and discoveries of their biological fathers, which are pictured behind me. Knowing where your face comes from is a privilege that most people take for granted. It isn't until you don't have it that you realize the dehumanizing impact that it has on you. It is something that people with unknown parentage are denied, and those of us who are donor conceived or adopted are intentionally denied that privilege. It affects us more than most people can imagine, and identity is not a privilege. Knowing our own faces should not be a privilege. Waiting until adulthood to understand our own bodies is not acceptable. I have a right to my own face. We have a right to our own faces, and that right should not only be for the privileged.